At a family barbecue, her uncle asked her when she planned to get married and finally settle down. She laughed, pointed at me, and said, "Marriage? With him? No, I'm not getting married." I was shocked, because she had talked to me about marriage before. I didn't argue. I quietly handed her the plate I was holding and walked away. I blocked her number the same day. 2 days later, she showed up at my office, with that same uncle, holding something in her hands. I'm 29, work in software development, and I thought I knew exactly where my life was headed. 3 years with someone does that to you. You start picturing the house, the kids, the mundane grocery store trips on Sunday mornings. I'd pictured all of it with Lauren. We met at a mutual friend's game night. She was competitive, funny, terrible at charades. I liked that she didn't take herself too seriously. 6 months in, we moved in together. A year after that, she started leaving wedding magazines on the coffee table. Not subtly either. They'd be open to specific pages, certain dresses dog-eared. I'd catch her scrolling through venue websites on her laptop. "Just looking," she'd say, smiling. "For when we're ready." I was ready. I'd been saving for a ring since month 18. Her best friend Kira knew. My brother knew. I had the whole thing planned for our anniversary trip in September. Beach sunset, the works. Maybe cliché, but Lauren loved clichés. She cried at every rom-com. Her family was loud, affectionate, overwhelming in the best way. Sunday dinners at her parents' house were mandatory. Her mom would pack leftovers before we even finished eating. Her dad would corner me to discuss whatever construction project he was planning. I didn't mind. My family was small, quiet. Hers made me feel like I belonged to something bigger. The barbecue was her Uncle Rick's idea. He'd just moved back to town after a decade in Arizona and wanted to reconnect with everyone. Lauren was excited. She'd always been close to Rick growing up. He was the cool uncle who sent birthday cards with cash and remembered everyone's favorite candy. I spent the morning helping her dad set up tables in the backyard. Lauren made potato salad, singing along to whatever playlist she had going. She seemed happy. Normal. She kissed my cheek when I carried the cooler outside. The afternoon started fine. Burgers on the grill, kids running through a sprinkler, her cousin's new puppy getting into everything. I was talking to her brother about the upcoming football season when I heard Rick's voice boom across the yard. "Lauren, get over here. I barely got to talk to you yet." She jogged over, laughing. I followed, carrying 2 plates of food. Rick was standing by the drink cooler, sunburned and grinning. "So, when are you going to make an honest man out of this guy?" Rick gestured at me with his beer. "You two have been together forever." I smiled, ready to deflect with something joke-why. But Lauren got there first. She laughed. Actually laughed. Then she pointed directly at me. "Marriage? With him? No, I'm not getting married." The words hung there. Her tone was light, casual, like she was commenting on the weather. But I felt every syllable land. Rick looked confused. "Wait," I thought. "Yeah, no." She shook her head, still smiling. "Not really the marriage type. You know me." I stood there holding both plates. Potato salad, coleslaw, a burger sliding off the edge. Someone's kid shrieked in the background. The puppy barked. I couldn't hear any of it clearly. Everything sounded muffled, distant. Lauren glanced at me, finally registering my face. Her smile faltered slightly. "Babe, I'm just..." "Here." I handed her one of the plates. My voice came out flat, distant. "I'm gonna grab something from the car." I didn't go to the car. I walked around the side of the house, past the garbage cans, into the front yard. I stood there on the sidewalk, staring at nothing. My hands were shaking. 3 years. The ring in my sock drawer. The magazines. For when we're ready. I pulled out my phone, opened her contact, stared at her name for a full minute. Then I blocked her number. I went back inside through the front door, grabbed my keys from the kitchen counter. Her mom was slicing watermelon. "Leaving already, sweetheart?" "Not feeling great," I said. "Tell Lauren I took an Uber." I didn't take an Uber. I drove home in silence. No music. No podcasts. Just the sound of my own breathing and the engine. When I got to our apartment, I packed a bag. Clothes, laptop, chargers, toiletries. I took the ring box from my sock drawer and put it in my jacket pocket. Then I went to my brother's place across town. "What happened?" he asked when he opened the door. "Can I crash here for a few days?" He stepped aside without another question. I didn't sleep that night. I kept replaying it. Her laugh. The casual dismissal. "No, I'm not getting married." Like it was obvious. Like we'd never discussed anything different. The next morning, I found 17 missed calls and 43 texts on my work phone, the one I'd forgotten to block her on. I read through them once. The first few were confused. Where did you go? Are you okay? Your car's gone. Then annoyed. You're really not going to talk to me about this? This is so immature. Then angry. You blocked me? Seriously? Over a joke at a barbecue? Then pleading. Please call me. I don't understand what's happening. Can we just talk? I turned my phone face down and went to work. My coworkers noticed something was off. I'm usually the guy cracking jokes during stand-up meetings, bringing in donuts on Fridays. That Monday, I sat in my cubicle and stared at code I couldn't focus on. You good? My teammate Aaron leaned over the divider. Fine. You look like you haven't slept in a week. Didn't. He studied me for a second, then retreated. Smart guy. By lunch, Lauren had started calling my work line. I sent it to voicemail every time. She left 6 messages. I deleted them without listening. Update 1. 2 days later, I was in a meeting when our receptionist knocked on the conference room door. Sorry to interrupt. Someone's here to see you. Says it's urgent. I excused myself, annoyed. Clients didn't show up unannounced. But it wasn't a client. Lauren was standing in our lobby. Uncle Rick was next to her. And she was holding a small blue jewelry box. My jewelry box. The ring. I stopped walking. How did you? Your brother told me where you're staying. Her voice was strained, eyes red. I went there this morning. You left your spare key under the mat. I needed to. I had to understand. Rick looked uncomfortable, hands in his pockets. I told her I'd drive. She was pretty upset. Can we talk? Lauren's voice cracked. Please. My coworkers were pretending not to stare. I could feel every eye in the office on us. Outside, I said. We walked to the parking lot. Rick stayed by the building, giving us space. Lauren opened the box. The ring caught the sunlight, throwing tiny rainbows across the pavement. You were going to propose. It wasn't a question. Was being the key word. When? September. Our anniversary. She closed her eyes. I didn't know. You didn't know? Lauren, you've been leaving wedding magazines around for over a year. You talk about venues. You send me Pinterest boards of centerpieces. What did you think that meant? I thought. She stopped. Started again. I thought we were just dreaming. Planning for someday. Not now. Not yet. And when exactly is yet? I couldn't keep the edge out of my voice. Because from where I'm standing, you just told your entire family that marrying me isn't even on the table. I panicked. Her voice rose. Rick put me on the spot. Everyone was listening. And I said the first thing that came to mind. The first thing that came to mind was, no, I'm not getting married. That's what came naturally to you. It was a joke. It wasn't funny. She stepped closer. I love you. You know I love you. Do you want to marry me? The pause was half a second too long. It's complicated, she said. I laughed. Actually laughed. That's not complicated. That's a no. It's not a no. There's things I need to figure out first. What things? My career. Whether I want to stay in this city. Kids, maybe. I don't know if I want kids. Do you want kids? We've never really. Lauren. I cut her off. We've been together 3 years. If you're still figuring out basic life goals, maybe you should figure them out with someone else. Don't do this. Tears started falling. Please don't do this. You already did it. At the barbecue. You just didn't realize. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She tried to hand me the ring box. Take this back. Propose when you're ready. I'll say yes. I promise I'll say yes. I didn't take it. You'd say yes because you feel guilty. Not because you actually want it. That's not true, isn't it? I looked at her directly. If Rick hadn't asked, if I hadn't walked away, would you have ever told me you weren't sure? She didn't answer. That's what I thought. I turned toward the building. Where are you going? Back to work. That's it. That's all you have to say. I stopped, looked back. What do you want me to say, Lauren? That it's okay? That we can pretend you didn't publicly humiliate me in front of your family? That I should wait around while you figure things out for another year, or 2, or 5? I want you to fight for us. I was going to fight for us. I bought a ring. I planned a proposal. I was all in. I shook my head. You're the one who wasn't. I walked back inside. She didn't follow. Rick drove her home. I know because he called my work phone an hour later. I feel responsible, he said. I shouldn't have asked like that, in front of everyone. Not your fault. She really does love you, you know? She talked about you the whole drive. She's devastated. She'll get over it. Will you? I hung up. That evening, my brother found me sitting on his couch, staring at the ring box. You kept it, he said. Forgot it was in my jacket. You want a beer? Yeah. He brought two, sat down. We drank in silence for a while. You did the right thing, he finally said. Doesn't feel right. It will. Eventually. I wanted to believe him. Update 2. A week passed. I stayed at my brother's place. Lauren stopped calling. I assumed she'd finally accepted it was over. Then Kira showed up at my gym. I was on the treadmill when I saw her in the mirror, standing by the weight racks, arms crossed. When I finished, she was waiting. We need to talk. Not interested, I said, grabbing my water bottle. She's a mess. She hasn't eaten in 3 days. She called in sick to work. Her mom is worried. That's not my problem anymore. Kira blocked my path. You don't even want to know why she said it? She already told me why. She panicked. She's not sure. It's complicated. That's not the whole story. I sighed. Fine. What's the whole story? Her parents almost got divorced last year. I blinked. What? Her dad had an affair. Her mom found out. They went to therapy, worked it out, stayed together. But Lauren was terrified the whole time. She watched her mom fall apart. She watched this marriage she thought was perfect nearly implode. She never told me any of that. She didn't tell anyone. She made them promise not to. She didn't want people treating them differently. Kira's voice softened. When Rick asked about marriage, all she could think about was her parents. The crying. The screaming. Her mom sleeping in the guest room for 2 months. She freaked out. I processed this slowly. So she's scared of marriage because of her parents. She's scared of becoming her mom. Trusting someone completely and having them destroy you. I'm not her dad. She knows that. Logically, she knows. But trauma isn't logical. Kira stepped closer. She loves you. She wants a life with you. She's just terrified. Then she should have told me that. Not humiliate me at a family barbecue. You're right. She screwed up. Massively. But are you really going to throw away 3 years because she said something stupid when she was panicking? I'm throwing away 3 years because she let me plan a future she wasn't sure she wanted. Kira studied me for a moment. What if she got help? Therapy. Actually worked through this? That's her choice to make. And if she did, would you consider trying again? I didn't answer. Kira nodded slowly, like I'd confirmed something. Think about it, she said and left. I didn't think about it. I tried not to. But it was there, nagging at the edges. Her parents. The affair. The wedding magazines suddenly made more sense. She was testing the idea, trying to make herself okay with it. And when confronted directly, she panicked. It didn't excuse what she said, but it explained it. My brother found me staring at the ceiling that night. You're thinking about taking her back, he said. No. You are. I can tell. Even if I was, it wouldn't work. The trust is gone. Trust can be rebuilt. Not always. He sat on the edge of the couch. You remember when Sarah left me? Sarah was his ex-wife. They divorced 5 years ago. Yeah. You remember what you told me? Not specifically. You said, if you still love her when you're not angry anymore, then it was real. He looked at me. Are you still angry? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Yeah, I said. I am. Then you're not ready. But maybe someday you won't be. Over the next few days, I started noticing things. Little things I'd missed before. The way Lauren always changed the subject when her parents' marriage came up. How she'd tense whenever her mom called. The time she cried during a movie about infidelity, and I thought she was just emotional. The signs had been there. I just hadn't been looking. But that didn't change what happened. It didn't erase the humiliation, the broken trust, the plans I'd made that she'd never been sure about. I went to dinner with some college friends that weekend. They asked about Lauren. We broke up, I said. Damn, sorry man. What happened? She wasn't ready for what I wanted. They nodded, moved on. But one of them, Tyler, caught up with me in the parking lot after. My ex did something similar, he said. Strung me along for 2 years. I kept waiting for her to be ready. She never was. How'd you get over it? Honestly, I didn't for a while. But then I realized I was more in love with the idea of us than the actual relationship. Once I saw that, it got easier. I drove home thinking about that. Was I in love with Lauren, or with the version of her I'd created in my head? The one who wanted the same future I did? I didn't have an answer. 3 weeks after the barbecue, Lauren sent me a letter. Actual handwritten letter, delivered to my brother's apartment. I almost threw it away. But curiosity won. I started therapy. Twice a week. Dr. Patel thinks I have commitment issues stemming from family trauma. Shocking, right? I'm not writing this to get you back. I know I ruined us. I know you don't trust me. I don't blame you. I just wanted you to know that what happened made me realize I need help. Real help. Not just saying, I'll work on it, and hoping things magically improve. I found out about my dad's affair 3 days before we moved in together. I never told you because I didn't want to poison what we had. I thought if I didn't talk about it, it wouldn't affect us. That was stupid. It affected everything. Every time you mentioned the future, part of me wanted to run. But I loved you too much to leave, so I just froze. I collected wedding magazines like talismans, trying to convince myself I could do it, that I could be brave enough. And then Rick asked, and everyone was watching, and all I could think about was my mom crying in the bathroom, and I panicked. I'm not asking for another chance. I'm just asking you to know that you didn't do anything wrong. You were perfect. I was broken, and I'm working on fixing that. I hope you find someone who's ready for all the things you deserve. Lauren. I read it 3 times. Then I put it in my desk drawer. The anger started fading after that. Slowly. It was replaced by something sadder. The understanding that sometimes loving someone isn't enough. Sometimes timing matters. Readiness matters. And you can't force either. 2 months later, I moved into my own apartment. Small 1-bedroom downtown. I went on a few dates. They were fine. Nobody felt right, but I wasn't expecting them to. I saw Lauren once at a coffee shop. She was with Kira, laughing at something on her phone. She looked good. Lighter somehow. She didn't see me. I left before she could. My brother asked if I regretted walking away. Honestly, I still don't know. Some days I think I made the right call. She wasn't ready, and I deserved someone who was sure. Other days I wonder if I gave up too easily. If I should have fought harder, been more understanding. But here's what I do know. I wasn't going to wait around to be someone's maybe. I wasn't going to build a life with someone who couldn't say yes when it mattered. The ring is still in my sock drawer. Different apartment, same hiding spot. I haven't looked at it in months. Maybe someday I'll give it to someone who doesn't hesitate. Someone who hears marriage and thinks of partnership, not destruction. Someone ready. Or maybe I'll return it. Get my money back. Start over completely. Either way, I'm done with family BBQs. And I'm okay with that. Because walking away from someone you love is hard. But staying with someone who doesn't know if they want you? That's impossible.